You were married how long? Tell everybody.
68 years.
68 years.
And never for fight.
Wow. Never one fight also.
No. I have to try to fight with him. I couldn't. I succeeded. Never. We met once at somebody's house for 5-10 minutes. Next time when we met, we were engaged. Third time we met, we were married. 20 days. Everything was over.
As a parent, I want to make sure that I do good by my kids, that they just turn out to be good people, that are happy. क्या करते हैं? क्या right advice है?
So, from the very when they were very small, I gave them full freedom. What they do. But I watched them.
Yes.
If they are wrong, and I will explain to them, this is not done. So they are taught to take their own decision. Do what you want. But I see that they go on the right track and not to go out of the way.
How old were you then when you took your first order?
It was 91.
I feel like I'm running out of time because I think as Indians हम हर चीज़ पे deadline लगाते हैं. शादी इतने time तक होनी चाहिए, बच्चे इतने time तक होने चाहिए. I have to be successful by this time. कैसे नानी? क्या right advice है? You're the inspiration for this because आपको देख के I'm like ठीक है, new चीज़ें शुरू करनी चाहिए. What's the harm? What is the problem? So हम शुरू करेंगे नानी just to hear. You are now 97.
I'm in my 98th year.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And so can you start and tell us, just your journey and your how you got started, your education, आप कहाँ से आए हैं, कुछ थोड़ा. Just can you give us a background on that?
I come from a very small town, Navsari, south of Gujarat.
Hanji.
I was born there, brought up there since about 7-8 years old. Then my father shifted to Baroda.
Hanji.
Gaikwad Street, because there was no good school for girls. Only it was up to 4th standard and no more. So my father said, he very much wanted me to study. Those days girls were not supposed to go to school and college.
But your father wanted you to study.
My father and mother both, they wanted me to go. So they shifted to Baroda. You'll be surprised to know, it was girls were given free education.
Really?
Really. Then came to college. There was no law college in Baroda.
Hanji.
So my education stopped there. And within few months, I got married.
Okay.
And shifted to Bombay.
ये 1930s की बात कर रहे हैं.
Nah, I graduated in 1948.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got married in 49.
All right.
And shifted to Bombay.
Okay.
Then it was a lawyer family, so I could adjust very well in that family.
Hanji.
No problem me getting adjusted. In 1960, my husband became a judge in the Gujarat High Court.
Okay.
So we came to Ahmedabad. Shifted to Ahmedabad. Then he became the Chief Justice of the Ahmedabad, became twice the governor of the state. Then 1973, we came to Delhi as my husband was appointed as judge in the Supreme Court.
Hanji.
Then since then I'm in Delhi.
Okay.
Yeah.
And आपने मुझे ये भी बोला था when we met, you used to work alongside him in the office.
So I was with my husband.
Hanji.
All the time.
Okay.
Yeah. Because he used to give speeches everywhere. So he would dictate me at middle of the night, he gets some idea. Come on, write down. So I would write down this and next day my secretary would type it out and all that.
Hanji.
So I had to be with him, looking after him. Part-time secretary, part-time cook, part-time driver, everything.
I love it. You were the jack of all trades and the master of it too.
No, master of none.
I don't want to say that. नहीं, आप हो. उसके बाद, then?
Then in 2015, no, 17, 15th of May, June. My husband passed away. After that, she was not keeping well for some time. Then suddenly I had to do nothing.
Yeah.
because I was so much involved in it, day and night.
And you told me, I remember that, you know, Justice Bhagwati worked till pretty much his last days.
Yeah.
So till 95.
3 years he wasn't well,
Hanji.
but till about 92 almost. He was
Hanji.
working.
Wow.
And his aim was for 18 hours a day to work.
18 hours a day to work.
If he doesn't work for 18 hours, 2 days is wasted.
Maybe that's the secret. You know, you find something that drives you with so much passion that it just keeps you going.
Work
Hanji.
and more work.
Yeah.
And never say I'm tired.
Okay.
His lifetime he has never said, now he's tired, can't do this. Never.
Oh God.
Never having say that. Never.
I need to stop that off my vocabulary. I just said this. I need to stop saying this. I'm tired.
Stop.
I will stop. It's a lesson learned.
Then I was, and about a year, 1 year or so, I would, we had a table. I used to sit with my husband. So when he was not there, I would sit still on my chair. I won't hear much from me for a year or so.
No, couple of months.
But because you were married how long? Tell everybody.
68 years.
68 years.
And never for fight.
Wow. Never one fight also.
No. I have to try to fight with him. I succeeded. Never.
I think both of them believed that fighting was quite a waste of time and energy.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
No.
So why waste your energy? It's better to use your energy in more constructive work rather than waste it in fighting.
Yeah. Wow. 68 years.
Yeah.
And no fighting.
No, never.
I think there are many lessons here in that sentence for a lot of us to learn. How come that level of understanding? Was it just because the two of you were young when you got married? Because everybody these days is so quick to fight, argue. The common thing I hear from a lot of people is, we weren't getting along. That's why we moved away. I just want to, and we'll go back to you, but I want to understand from you, because I think a lot of people also struggle with relationships and marriage. And you seem to have had the perfect formula for it.
We had a joint family, 6 brothers, sister-in-law, parents, and everybody. We got along so well with each other. Even with the family, I never fought.
I think my father was so focused on what he wanted to do in life, his work, his goals.
Yeah.
And mom was there. I mean, she respected that.
Okay.
Great.
And such a nice work.
I know.
So they were both just driven towards that.
Yeah.
So they just didn't think it was worth fighting.
How did we get to Nani's Naashta? आपने वो क्यों शुरू किया फिर? क्या? What happened? What was going on?
Except kitchen, I have no other well kitchen. Then I used to sing. I'm fond of feeding people, not eating that.
That's her joy in life, to feed people.
Because my husband would have every half an hour one meeting. So everyone who comes has to have tea and some snack to eat. And so I was busy in the kitchen all the time. Though he never liked me to work at all. I never had to work.
Okay.
He was against anyone. But I used to manage it with good staff. So I like to feed people. Make good things. Send it to the people, neighbor here, there. So once I sent.
So the story is that I met Tarun's wife, Shailaja, Sal, at some tea party. And there were some, normal fat khandvis over there. And she said, oh, I love khandvis. I said, listen, Sal, even if I say so myself, my mother's khandvis are 100 times better than this. And after eating those, I just cannot eat this. So she said, oh, really? I'm having a bridge party. Can she make something for me? I said, sure. So then she said, no, but she can make something, but I'm going to pay for it. So my mom said, no, how can I
I had
How
never
can I charge something, you know? I mean,
that business sense was never in me.
this is not
I
done.
wasn't saying.
So Sal said, no, I will pay for it. I insist, and I insist she makes it also. And that was the first order that she actually did.
Now, how old were you then when you took your first order?
It was
91. She was
91.
Wow. Wow. And just to backtrack and give timeline. So your husband passed away. You were how old when your husband passed away?
90.
She was 90.
90.
Take it. And then, so a year later,
A few months.
a few
30
months
later.
later, you basically started a new journey.
Yeah. Something which I never had any idea. I never thought of it even.
You basically became an entrepreneur, which in a journey of 91 years of coming from a law family, lawyers, you broke the mold. You became an entrepreneur.
That's a very funny story. The first order that she did for Sal, I said, you have to calculate some amount and tell her because she's insisting on paying for it. So she calculated something which was all wrong because they never calculated.
I never calculate how much it cost.
So she sent some amount and Sal sent the money. And she said that, thank you, Mrs. Bhagwati, food was absolutely delicious. However, I have one piece of advice for you. Please learn to charge properly.
I have no idea how to. I didn't make profit, nothing. After that,
So it was a good lesson as an entrepreneur to know that okay, bhai, charge according to what is wow your margin you are. Yes, how to calculate
the cost first and then the profit and it.
Then Nani, you got started. That was your first order. And then when did Nani's Naashta get formalized?
2-3 months later.
So
Because, then she actually started getting orders by word of mouth. So maybe 6 months later, we said, we have to name this something. So suddenly I said, okay, what do you name her? Okay, Nani's Nasta. She's Nani to everyone.
call me Nani.
Hanji.
My grandchildren, even Sorab calls me Nani.
Yeah.
Her husband calls me Nani.
Okay.
So they say Nani is nurse. I say fine.
And so you got started then now 91 and I'm assuming you decided, oh, Nani's Naashta.
Yeah.
And since then you've been running that fairly successfully. I believe here also in this building there are several orders.
Moved to Gurgaon. We were in Delhi at that time.
Acha.
When I started in Delhi.
Okay.
And she was very, I have to give her a lot of credit because not many people at age maybe 93 or 94 are ready to give up their home of 25, 30 years
Yeah.
and move home to a completely different setup.
Yeah.
And she was all open to it. She did it. And she took her business forward after coming here
Wow.
and made it grow.
Wow. First of all, I think it's a real change. By the way, I wouldn't do it. You asked me to move out of that, zone that I stay in, which we've talked about. I'm always fearful. People keep telling me, you South Delhi kid, this, that. It is what it is. It's very hard for me to move anywhere else. So I find that very impressive. At 93. So there's a lesson in here for me. Never be afraid of change.
Never been.
So.
And I have full trust in my daughters.
Hmm.
That whatever they will do, they will go for better of where I can have a better life. They can think about it.
That's sweet. We're going to come to your kids because it takes a strong set of parents and I have 2 daughters and I want to drive.
I have 3 daughters, but they are more than sons to me. More than that. I never wanted a son.
Really?
Never, ever.
My husband says this. Daughters are God's blessings. And so he
My
was
husband always say, a son is a son till he gets himself a wife. A daughter is a daughter all your life.
Words of wise, seriously.
All your life.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Abhi, let's talk about your daughters and we'll come back to Nani's Nasta.
Yeah.
आपकी 3 बेटियां हैं. One, how I know you, Pallavi, who I'm a big fan of. I've known her forever. Sonali, who I've just been chatting with nonstop. I love her. And there's another daughter who's a doctor. So very accomplished daughters in their own right. They weren't under the, the father's shadow, your shadow. How do you create such powerhouses? As a parent, I ask this because to be able to do that, and I always say that as a parent, I want to make sure that I do good by my kids, that they just turn out to be good people, that are happy. And I touch wood, from what I see, this seems like a very loving household. कैसे नानी क्या करते हैं, क्या right advice है?
So from the when they were very small, I gave them full freedom. What they do, but I watch them. If they are wrong, then I will explain to them this is not done. If they are right, I would encourage it. So they are taught to take their own decision. I believe you have to do this, you have to know. Do what you want to do.
Yeah.
But I see that they go on the right track and not go out of the way.
So you're kind of like just nudging them as guardrails, but leaving them to just
take their own.
Yeah, pick your own journey and pathway.
She became architect, her own decision.
Encouraged to take a leap of faith and follow our dreams the way my father had followed his dreams.
Yeah.
And he had left his very lucrative law practice and become a judge.
Yeah.
So he followed his dreams.
What you would earn in one day, as a judge, you would earn in 1 month. That was the difference when he took that.
But yet he chose that.
But he has to work for the people.
He wanted to work for the people.
Beginning. He was never fond of money or anything. Thus, he wanted to do good for people.
And I find it interesting that, so it's lawyers all the way through, but then, you're doing something different. Your sister's a doctor. You're an architect.
Actually, none of us followed law.
Yeah.
Even Pallavi did start off by becoming a lawyer. She started off by doing her MBA. She did honors and then she did an MBA in marketing.
Really?
Then she met Shardul. And Shardul convinced her to do law because he was a lawyer and their family was also all lawyers.
Yeah.
And she actually did her law thereafter.
Wow.
She got married. And of course, my profession was, I would say completely the black sheep because architecture was bohemian. I went to architecture school in Ahmedabad, which was radical.
Okay.
I'm talking about 80s.
Yeah.
And it was very radical. It was a place where most people didn't want to send their daughters. And for my parents, they were traveling. When I actually went for admission, I fudged their signature and I got myself admitted into architecture school in Ahmedabad. And my mother comes back and there is absolutely no problem because as far as they were concerned, it's just something that had to be done.
I mean, I came back from abroad. I couldn't see Sonali in the house. I said, where is Sonali? She has gone to Ahmedabad. I said, come. No telephone at that time, cell phone or anything. Then she called from somebody's house. I got admission here in school, as School of Architecture.
Yeah.
I said, okay, fine.
You said, okay, fine.
So when I went to Ahmedabad, it never even crossed my mind that I needed to take permission from my parents.
Wow.
Because that is the kind of family that we had grown up in.
Wow.
That is the kind of background that they had provided,
Wow. Now we're talking 1980.
I was talking about 1980. So it was as forward thinking as you could ever get,
You were 17, she say?
I was 17.
Wow.
17.
Wow.
I just took a train and I went off.
They're not there.
We always traveled by second class sleeper. And I went to Baroda and then from there I took a bus and went to Ahmedabad. And that was fine. They supported. They were the most supportive parents you could ever find.
I guess that's why each one of them is as accomplished as they are, right? Each of your daughters, because of the supportive foundation that you've provided?
From the beginning, they are allowed to take their own decision. No forcing of any ideas on them. Never.
Nani, we'll do a quick intro on you also. So, I've moved to calling you Nani, and I love it. And I know the world knows you now as Nani. Everybody's known you, and I think I love that because I really do feel like you're my Nani. It's very sweet, seriously. But आप मेरे को एक छोटा intro अपना बताओ, please.
I have seen here, Gujarati food is not very popular here. Or you don't get it anywhere.
Yeah.
Authentic Gujarati food. And no one has any idea about Gujarati food. And if you say health-wise, Gujarati food is much more healthier
Yes.
than the other food. So I thought if I start with Gujarati food and let people make familiar about it. Now the Gujarati food has become quite popular here.
Because it's so tasty.
It's tasty and simple,
Yes.
no frying or this and that. You can't get anything in the market like that, fresh.
Yeah.
If you order today, you say, I want fresh supply at 5 o'clock in the evening. Freshly made 5 o'clock supply good.
How many orders?
I don't keep anything in the fridge. Nothing.
And how many orders are you doing in a day?
In a day, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. If there are big orders, then I take only 3. Very big.
Hanji. Like catering for
Because
parties.
Everything is cooked then and then.
Okay. That's your speciality. Fresh, Gujarati, healthy food.
Nothing is
In fact, if they have an order for, let's say, dhokla in the morning and the same dhokla in the evening, they will make it twice.
Oh, wow.
They will not keep it, they will not make it in the morning and keep it till
type of oil order hai. They do now. Company dobara. Fresh.
Okay, first of all, by the way, I also want to understand, aajkal there's a real, thing about longevity. The secret to longevity. Everybody's talking about what is the way to live your best life, okay? और मैं आपको जब मिली थी, I remember I told you this, कि I feel like I'm running out of time because I think as Indians हम हर चीज़ पे deadline लगाते हैं. शादी इतने time तक होनी चाहिए, बच्चे इतने time तक होने चाहिए. I have to be successful by this time. I have to have this. मेरा fund too इतने time तक होना चाहिए. What is, Nani, the secret to being you? Honestly, because I look at you, you're such an inspiration. What is the secret to longevity and being you, living this life that is so full?
My mother was said that no chemicals, either on the body, in the hair, or to eat. Nothing. Only homemade fresh food to eat and brought in the head. No cream on the face or shampoo in the head, no. Homemade shampoo.
Wow.
Homemade conditioner. No soap, nothing. Homemade.
Yeah.
Haldi or chandan ka banake. So simple. If you have chemical-free life, no sugar.
No sugar.
No. Sugar is made of some chemicals, right? It's not natural.
Yeah. I
It's good.
Hanji.
No sugar.
If I can add that I think that she is probably one of the most positive people that I have ever known. And I'm talking about not as family, I'm talking about in general. I have never come across somebody who is more positive than her in life. She has no negativity in her. She has no negativity in her mind. She always says that if you have a problem, say it out. By not saying it or by getting angry, it will not get solved. You have to solve it. Only then it will get solved. And for that, you have to be able to think clearly.
Yeah.
So that is her approach to life. And I've never found her flustered. I've never found her het up. But she's just calm.
So, and I'm sorry because it's a low point, but especially these days, people go through more low points that I think I think the older generations were just sturdier and heartier, by the way. I think the younger the generation is going, the more anxiety they feel, trauma, depression, right? I think the older generations maybe हम लोग इतने focused.
And no anxiety.
Right. And I think there were goals, like you said, they were very simple. We were working towards a goal,
Yeah.
you know. But your husband passing away, 68 years together, it would be such a, and yet you picked yourself up, Nani,
Yeah,
and you,
because there was nothing to cry about. My husband's career was so full of life, energy, and positive creating.
So she was celebrating his
yeah,
life.
I celebrate. Even today I celebrate.
that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
I never cried for it. Never even. Why cry? She has not done anything wrong.
Yeah,
He has made me happy.
yeah.
He couldn't have made me happier than what I am. Today I'm happy because of him. Then why should I cry?
Are you born with it, this positivity? How do you, it's so cool. I'm actually at a loss for words because I don't know. I'm trying to understand for myself because I think if everybody was like you, which is just looking at the positive aspect, this is very hard. You know, there are a lot of people who say, no, my life is this. You're saying, I'm celebrating this, you know, and
Every day I celebrate.
so when you met him, it was an arranged marriage.
Yeah, right. 100%.
I'm assuming 19 kitna tha? 1922? 1920s? 1949. Okay, and he was how old and you were how old? 22 you were, he was?
27.
Okay, you know what? There are three different buckets. One is if you had to give advice to women today, what would it be?
Age is no bar. If you have facilities and circumstances, you can go ahead. Support from the family, friends, all her friends,
And are her friends?
and my friends.
She goes for parties without me, with people my 30, 40 years younger to her.
Yeah, there's nobody of my age.
Well, you know, first of all, I find it hard to believe you're 98 anyway. I would love to have you come join us at our parties as well. So,
In fact, she's
That's
the
it.
wine drinking Nani.
oh, thank God, I love wine. Oh my God, Nani, seriously. I was going to say, agar aap wine peete ho, to then we'll be best friends.
Wine, she loves her Prosecco,
Huh.
and she's the wine drinking Nani. And once these two young girls, they said, Nani, we'll come and meet you.
Hmm.
She said, you can come, but you need to bring a bottle of wine. I'll provide the glasses.
I wish I had known we would have done this over Prosecco.
Then suddenly they wanted to come to my house.
Hanji.
7, 8 of them. I said, you are most welcome. I can give food everything. There's no wine in the house. You bring your bottles. We get fresh. I said, you are welcome. I provide the glasses. You bring your wax. Such a fun.
And, you know, what advice would you have for people to live their best life?
Think positive and see good things in everyone. As Vivekananda said, each soul is potentially divine.
Yeah.
Each soul.
Hanji.
All are potentially divine. We are all divine.
Yeah.
And try to find a divinity in you. What is wrong in you, what is wrong around you, you should have done that, not done that, not that. So what you have done.
Hanji.
So positive things you have to bring out from others. She had a good sense of becoming an architect. We try to bring out that sense from her.
Hanji. Okay.
Also, the potentially divine, you see divinity in everyone.
Hanji.
Then you don't feel unhappy. And if you are happy, then you keep healthy.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for doing this. And
Please.
thank you for, recognizing my mom for what she is.
My God.
Really, really grateful.